results, right? So you always want to reflect what it is that you're doing. So your script, right? So you always want to reflect when you every time you use your script and then reflect on it and see what you can tweak on the script to walk people through that process. So go ahead and share me your script so we can work on it.
Well, I'm actually driving, but it's a
Okay.
script I've been putting on in the chat. So basically, when I call a realtor, I say, hello, my name's Jeremy Dennis. Um, I'm working with a company. I partner with a company named Build Network. We're partnering with a bunch of realtors in your area. I was just wanting to know if you was wanting to partner with us too. And then of course they go, so what does your business do, or what does the business do? I said, well, we have 4 high ticket items. I said we mostly focus on solar and water, home alarms systems. I said we're kind of set up like the real estate agents where they can override. Uh, override. I have a script down. It's usually down a little bit better than this, but I kind of tell them we override. And I said, give you an example. Say you and 10 agents come into the company. They do 2 solar cells a piece. That's 20 cells. You would override about $13,800. If you do a cell yourself, add another $3,500 to $7,000. That's 20 grand that you can override and make yourself in 1 month. And that's kind of when they say, yeah, can you send me some more information? That sounds interesting. And then, of course, I send the information and stuff, and then I'm not getting anything after that.
Okay, so once you send the information, on the follow-up, are you saying is when they're not following up? When you
Yeah,
follow
so
up
not
with them?
following up. I talked to Mr. Bean about it. He said maybe I'm not doing the process right. Like there's a process that I'm missing maybe into the uh, like I'm not really. They're telling me to send the information just to get me off the phone, maybe.
Correct, correct. So this is where GCU comes in, and that's a good thing that you're sharing, because for me, the main thing is when you're talking to cold market, you want to have a conversation, right? You want to have a conversation. So if you're like if you're saying like over a paragraph of stuff, then you're really talking to the person and not really conversating with them, right? So
Understand? Yeah.
my the way that I do things is I always put some type of questions in there to qualify the person, right? Not only that, but to create engagement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's break up what your script is right now. For one, you're calling EXP, so I know what you're doing. You're calling EXP realtors, right? Are you calling it from like a um like a like you're just looking into EXP and then just calling all the realtors that are in EXP on a list or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that?
So
Okay.
I just basically pick out a city, a state,
Okay.
and I just kind of go down to Google and just kind of go through each one.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Um and so in writing a script, number one, you always want to say great morning, great afternoon, or great evening first, right?
Okay.
So I would say, let's say, Jeremy, you're the EXP realtor right now. I would say, hey Jeremy, great afternoon. And then you want to pause and you want engagement, right? That's why you say
Great
great
afternoon. Yep.
afternoon, because
Yep.
they're gonna say what? Great afternoon, right? Um, and then everything is all about wording. So the next thing is, remember, if you put yourself in the realtor, number one, they're gonna be like, "Who is this? What do you want?" Right? That's the when you pick
Yep.
up the phone, that's the first two things. So you don't want them to have to ask you who are you and what you want. So the next thing is, "Hey, I'm Jeremy. Uh, great to meet you." Right? You want to say who you are. Hey, this is Jeremy, with if you want to say your company, or this is Jeremy. And then you want to go into the reason for my call.
Okay.
right? So you're actually answering these questions that they already have in their mind, right?
Okay.
And so you're saying the reason for my call is that, like you said, I work with realtors, right? In creating partnerships and referral partners and partnerships, right?
Okay.
And then I would make it less. You want something that's a big claim, right? So you want something that's a big claim. You can say, I help realtors add if you were on the Saturday training, right? So on the
Yeah.
Saturday training, if you remember, I had a script. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Give me 1 second. On Saturday's training, I had a script pulled up for additional income streams, right?
Yeah, I actually screenshotted the solar one, and then I thought I screenshotted the cold calling one, and I did. I screenshot the solar one twice. So I was actually going to get a hold of you and see if you could send me that script.
Okay, so here, no worries. I'm gonna pull it right up for you. That's what role plays are for. So let me pull it. Okay, so right here, right? So on the partnerships here, but what I will share with you is you got to know your features, advantages, and benefits, right? And
Hmm.
so on the solar one, I went with own versus rent. That was my script for that. So this is your big claim. So if you can see, you can say thing. Oh, let me see. You can say things like, I help real estate agents earn high commissions in addition to what they're doing. I help um I help realtors add an additional six-figure income on a part-time basis, already doing what they're all without having to do anything else from extra, right? So you want
Okay.
to write something like that, right? So
Okay.
here's the benefit. The benefit here is that we have high commissions where you can earn six figures a year part-time. So you would say, I help realtors earn an extra six figures a year part-time doing what they're already doing,
Okay.
right? So when they get asked that, they're gonna be like, how so? Right? How do you earn an extra six figures on top of what I'm already doing? Now you got their interest.
Yeah, piqued their
Right?
interest.
So you got the greeting, then you got the who are you and what's the reason for your call, and then the next part of your script is the big claim. So if you're using that as a big claim, then that's what you would be using, right?
Yeah.
Or I help if you're using this one as as the benefits you want to talk about, then you could say, I help realtors add a business in a box with full service specialists that takes care of their clients. And they're gonna be like, well, how so? That's what you want. You want them to say, I want more info, I need more info, right? Because it
Yeah.
sounds good, right? So then once you do that, right? Once you pique their interest to where they want to have that more info, then great. Now you can book the do you have 15 minutes now? When they say how so, then say, do you have 15 minutes now, or should we book, or do you have 15 minutes on Tuesday or something?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So when they want more info, you can either go into, I know you're already presenting, right? So you can go, if they have 15 minutes now, present. If not, then you can book an appointment to present the information,
Okay. Yeah, that's a good
or
idea. I
send
didn't.
them, or say, I'm gonna send you a video but I'm going to book an appointment to go to get your feedback.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't doing that, and that's probably where a lot of my problem has been.
Yeah. So when you do that now, you're really engaging with them, right? Because a lot of times when people call, you gotta remember realtors get called for everything. Warranty people, you know, PNC insurance, home warranties, they all ADT, they all want a piece of the realtor's pie, right? So
Yeah.
you want to set yourself as being different. And for me, that's the reason why I don't just cold call the realtors on the phone. I actually meet them at real estate events that I was sharing today because when you're in that environment, it's a network environment, so they're more ready to collaborate than getting a cold call on the
Yeah, I
phone.
was gonna start going to networking events and stuff because I think that's a lot of my issue. If I can get in front of somebody, I have a better shot.
Oh yeah, you're very personable. So that's what you gotta show them that winning personality. And the problem is on the phone, you can't do that, right? But
Yeah.
when you're at
Yep.
these networking events, you can be, you're gonna be like, dang, I want to get to know Jeremy, that energy that I gotta he, you know, and watch the training. I mean, watch the training that I did today. If you can go back and do the replay. And I think that
Okay.
that's going to be a game changer because if you're going to realtors and realtors always have, they always, you can actually go to like their EXP will have lunch and learns. They'll have all that stuff. And when you go to those things, you're going to have a bunch of them already there. They're already there
Yeah.
and they're already ready to network and mingle, right?
Okay.
So they're already in the mindset of collaboration there. When you call on the cold call, it's a little bit harder, right? It's a little bit harder to do that. Not that you can't, but a lot of times, if you're doing that, there has to be a reason why they want to get on the next call with you. So
Yeah.
if you can, maybe when you're calling them and you pique the
That'd
interest,
be fun.
Who's gonna do
uh,
that?
you pick their interest and they're gonna get the video and say, hey, by the way, um, I'm also, we're in the same industry, we're in the same real estate industry. So how can I help you?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you add value to them, well, guess what? They're gonna want to get on the Zoom with you because collaboration, they don't want like if you're calling them and it's only about you and your sales, or you calling them about collaborating and the sales is just an added benefit,
Okay.
right?
A lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. All I needed was 10 minutes with Angel to bring my business to the next level.
No, no worries. I've been through the cold calling. I've been business knocking. So, like I understand that realm. And when people and I always every single time I used to business knock for Organo. And so I would go to 20 businesses per day, right? Before I stopped.
Yeah.
And so each time I got out of the car, I sit down and I take notes, like what was the reaction? When I got the like, no, like I don't know about this product gonna do in my store. Da, da, da. And by the end of like a month, I had the perfect script because I got all
Yeah.
the no's. So I was like, okay, so this is a no, this is a no, and this is a no. So when you sit down and then what you do is if you got a no for a reason, if that person says, I don't know if this is in my market, I don't know if this product's gonna be do well in my store, right? I already have coffee, right? And so when I got all those objections, what I did was I scripted it to make sure that I took out all the objections down to a T. And then after that, as soon as I went into these businesses, they were just like, okay, that makes sense. And that's when you know you have the perfect script, when they say, okay, that makes sense, right? So I
Yeah.
didn't allow them to have any objections from the beginning. I was like, I know you don't know if this is going to be a great product for you. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to go ahead and come in here and sample your client, right? And if when I sample your clients, if they love it, they can actually purchase it from you. They're going to give you their feedback, right? I'm here sampling for free. You get the feedback at the end of the day. If enough customers tell you they want you to bring this product in, then we'll sit down and talk, right? And so they were like, okay, so you're going to sample for free. But little do they know, I'm coming in there, I'm going to take your market. Because if you don't bring this coffee into this place, I will take those sales. So either way, it's a win-win
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah. Wow.
right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I love to live in people's hot markets. So that's what you want to do. You want to figure out how you get into this person's hot market, right? Hey, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I know that it's really tough for you to, maybe you don't want to sell to your client. How about this? How about you ask your client if it's okay that that you connect them with me, and then I will do all this. I will do all the sharing. I will make sure to take care of your customer well. And at the end of the day, if they say yes, I'll give you $500 to $1,000,
Yeah.
right? So you gotta
Yeah.
see the pain points and ask the client those kind of questions like, you know, what is it that's keeping them from doing that? What is your concern? It's okay
Yeah.
to ask them, right? So if they're like, no, no, see, I don't just take a no. I said, great, no worries. Now I'm not gonna make them feel bad for saying no, no worries. But is it okay if I ask a question, before we get off the line? What is preventing you from wanting to do this? Is an extra 500 to 1,000, doesn't make sense to you? If it doesn't, how about 3,500 to 10K? Is that a better number for you? Right? So when you
Yeah.
find out what it is that's keeping them, now you can kind of take them to the next step. So I would ask more questions
Yeah.
during the call. And you can say,
Okay.
in order to not waste your time, would it be okay if I ask you a couple questions? Right? And
Yeah.
who doesn't want you to ask questions so you don't waste their time? You see how I worded that? So
Yeah.
that I don't waste your time, because it's all about that person.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and ask a couple questions.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So more more questions would probably
What
be
is
good.
can I ask you a question? Because
Sure.
where is the GCU is I know Ono or whatever Omi or whatever her name is, she puts it in our group, but where do I find the videos? Are they in the just in the Facebook group or I mean
Yeah,
to get
so
on and
the yeah, great question. So the videos, the rally calls are in the Builders VIP lounge.
yeah, I see those in the morning.
Yeah,
Those are all free.
those are the rally calls. So if you actually listen, they have the scripts out. Like you're gonna hear the reason for my call. You hear just to not waste your time. Those are all in those rally calls, right? In the rally calls, they share the script. So if you listen to when the people are practicing, they're practicing that same thing. And some of the trainers on there, right? They train on how to say the exact same thing, the scripts, right? The
Okay.
greeting part, you got to have a big claim, and you want to, answer and work on getting them to uh getting them to see to for a presentation or watching a video.
Okay.
Hmm. But
Yeah,
they're all in that
that's always been
VIP.
the getting people has always been my weak part. So I'm changing that today. I'm done with that.
I'm telling you, you're gonna love networking events.
Oh yeah, I bet. I like to talk. I like to talk to people. So my wife always gets mad at me because I'll be in Walmart and I'll sit there and start talking, and then it's all over with. She's like, "You ain't. I'm never going anywhere with you."
Oh. I love it. So it's like like we have sometimes we go in a couple of people and we just all split and we're just, out and about and just, talking to everyone.
Yeah,
So it's what you're gonna like networking events versus cold calling for sure. You're more
yeah,
of a networking.
I think so too. I can't wait to go to a few and just talk. I've been to one a long time ago, but it's been a while. Like it's been like 7 years. I had a
Wow. Yep,
gentleman
you
ask
definitely
me,
need to dust those boots off and go.
yeah, have to give me a new suit.
No, you don't necessarily have to. You can actually just wear your polos, right? Your encore or, build t-shirts. Yeah.
Okay,
Business as well.
Uh-huh. So,
take take my
a
banker
lot of
hat off.
people wear their trade, their business shirts and stuff like that there. So it's not all
Okay,
just, you can dress up or you can just wear what your company, right?
okay,
There's a lot of
yeah, I'm
people
not much
that
of a
wear their company,
I'm
a lot of realtors that have their tag, just whatever makes you feel comfortable,
I'm not
right?
much of a suit guy, but I'll dress nice.
Yeah, just that's nice. Called a business casual, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I'm not a suit guy either, but yeah, I agree.
Right? Business casual, be casual,
I
right?
was
yeah,
gonna I was gonna say, Angel, yeah, this is Phil. I got my camera off. I'm driving, but yeah, in terms of what Mr. Jeremy was saying, I'm relative to what he's doing. I'm pretty much, of course, I network events. I know that's definitely effective. Of course, now you have to make time for it, but when I can't go to it, I do want to continue to cold call, but what I've learned as well over the weekend pretty much is it's been working. And Jeremy, I've been using your script actually. The script that you put out, mixing it up, and then Angel, what you've been teaching us there. So basically, what I do, I send a text message out to all the realtors. Like I do 12 realtors per day. If I can do more, I can. But I send text messages out. Hey, this is Philip with Build Network, and then I give the big claim. I got like four different points I make of what we do, access to leadership. And then after that, I just give it that day. And then the next day, I give them a call. So what I did on Saturday, I did something I've never done before. I was like, so I send text messages, but I never call them. I was like, you got to start calling them again. So I called 12 that I sent the text message out to already for the day before. And out of the 12, I got one. I had it with Hans today. And it was like, wow, this really works. I mean, Jason Ringwood sees it all the time. Angel, it's like, so it's like, I gave them all calls and I said, they said, hey, his name was Desmond. And I was like, hey, Desmond, good morning. He said, good morning. I was like, this is Philip with Build Network. And I didn't remind him about my text, but I was like, hey, the reason for my call is that my company has partnered with several realtors in Texas. It was Texas I was focused on. My company has partnered with several realtors in Texas, and we are adding an additional $6,000 of income to their business per transaction. And I was like, and I want to know if you were interested in partnering with us. Pause. And then was, oh, so what's this about? I was like, do that. I was like, well, I'm glad you asked. I would like to set up a time with you and go over some things. And it looks like I just started making more calls and started getting more confidence, even though it didn't. Now, of course, I only got one out of it. I was like, well, but you got to be confident. So you got to keep doing it over and over. No, got to someone hang up on the phone on me, but most of them picked up. They let me give the whole spiel, and I was like, all right. And then one girl said, send me the information, get back with me, send me a video, sent her the video. So, but I do that. I send a text message out, then I call them, so it won't be so cold. So because they recognize my text, I was like, oh yeah, I see your text. So I see that actually works as well. And
that's a good idea.
I had a three way to
Congratulations.
yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, the phone call is the key. So, yeah, if you feel like you want to text first, then yeah, a lot of people they may not pick up the phone if they don't know what it's about. So when you
Yes.
texted them, they kind of like, okay, I kind of get it. So, I kind of see what that person wants, and then they'll like for sometimes I'll tell people, hey, text me first, because you may be telemarketer or something, and I may not pick up the phone if you don't text me. So that's a good way too. Text first, but always have that call because that call is what's going to get it to the next level, right? So a text only won't work, but if you text and then call, but at the end of the day, it's always calling, right? It's always calling because calling gets for you to build, rapport with the person on the line. And if you're having a conversation with them on the line, I mean, to be honest, I built a great rapport with, customer service agents. My VA came from T-Mobile. We hit it off
Yeah.
so well while he was helping me with my issue that I was like, wow, that's great. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be leaving soon. And I was like, well, at that time I wasn't ready for a VA, but he did such a great job. I was like, man, yeah, if you need to look for something else. I'm looking for a VA. And that's
Oh,
how
that
it
was smooth.
started, right? So
That was
you
smooth.
can't, once you build that rapport, but if we didn't stay on the phone to build that rapport, then I would have never known, right? So that's the whole point is building the rapport. And that's why having a conversation with people on the phone, even if you don't know them, is really huge. And if you can create some laughter while you're on that call, that's even better, right? I joke around a lot with people, so um, that way it builds a little bit more rapport, and it gets a little we have a little banter going, on and stuff, so sometimes, it's just like Jeremy, for instance, like if you call so many realtors and they're like, send me info, I would say, you know what, I hear that all the time, right? Send me info. So, send me was anything that I said actually pique your interest, or are you just pulling my leg, right? And some of them
Yeah.
just start laughing, right? Because maybe they got caught trying to use that send me info, right? So let's get real. Not a lot of people answer, look at their email, because some people are like, just email me. I'm like, to be honest, not a lot of people gonna email are going to look at the email. What is it that you're looking for in this email that would get you to actually watch this video, right? Because sometimes when it comes to cold market, they're trying to just get you off the phone.
Yeah.
Or are you really just pulling my leg? And when you're transparent like that, it allows them to be transparent. And it allows them to say, hey, I like this guy. He's transparent.
Well,
Right?
I'm about
Yeah.
ready to get I'm about ready to get a whole bunch of people because I messaged Mark Cuban today on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I
I
saw that.
was like, I don't
So
care. Never
yeah,
mind. I'm
so
gonna
just
get lucky.
yeah, but if you want to look at the scripts and then look at
Yeah.
and if you can be on those GCU rally calls at least once. I used to do that for like 3 years straight, back then.
Yeah.
So I would be on that call every day because I'm taking some nuggets from each and every person that's role playing, right? And
Angel, you know what's
so,
funny? You know what's funny
uh-huh.
is when I was talking to Mr. Bean, he said the exact same thing that you, I mean, word for word from the beginning and everything. I'm like, so Angel will tell you, Angel's GCU. I mean, it was almost word for word. Exactly. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. And
he, he,
it's short, it's simple, it's cut to the chase, and most people will respect you for it, right?
yeah, I,
Because just too
yeah,
many salespeople are just trying to sell and just trying to, the slick talk and the all of this stuff. So when you just
Network
go
marketing.
in, cut and dry, and be yourself, be, the humility, like, hey, I get that all the time. Are you really gonna check my mail?
yeah.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here, Jeremy. Are you really gonna check my mail? Or are you just gonna throw it in the spam folder? Just just let me
I,
know. Right?
I'm
And
up for anything. I want to
right.
learn. I want to learn, and that's why I came here because I want to learn from the best. So,
Aw, appreciate you, Jeremy. Miss
no,
Laura
no,
Johnson, you have your hand
yep.
up. What can I help you with?
Oh, well, thank you. You've helped me so much so far. Really, I just like have a testimony of how effective what your training is, because I had my first one-on-one last Friday with a realtor, and I went into that meeting, heart beating fast and like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what am I going to say? What am I going to? And I just really followed your instructions as to when you're networking and when you have that first meeting, like you said that when you get them on Zoom, you say, well, let's get to know each other first. Tell me a little bit about you. And so that's what I did in the one-on-one meeting. And boy, this gentleman just, woo, he took me all the way back to like 2004, because was, I see you're an entrepreneur. So, when did you get started with being an entrepreneur? Tell me about your journey. And so, boy, he took off. And so I got to learn a whole lot about him just by listening to him tell his story. And so then after that, he asked me, of course, about myself. And I just shared a little bit because I'm thinking about the principles, be more interested than interesting. So I said, no, don't you talk too much. You know, just get back to, finding out about him. And then he said, well, what's the reason for our visit? Right. So he's kind of a red kind of guy. Right. And so I started telling him about Build Network, and I started telling him about partnering with realtors, and that I also painted a vision. I cast a vision for, I'm in South Carolina, so I cast a vision for the state of South Carolina, telling him what's going to happen in South Carolina over the next 12 to 18 months, and wanting to know if he wanted to partner with me to be a part of that. And so he was very interested. He said that he didn't have solar on his current residence because he's planning to sell it, but he was interested. And he also said that well, right at this time, I'd rather help you than, get involved myself. And he said, let me tell you why. And so I have to have great respect for him because he told me why. He said that he's a minister, number one, and that he's a broker with Reichert, and he has, obligations for his office that he's focused on. And so, this is where GCU comes in again, because the agreement drill, I said, oh, I totally understand. I get it. I totally understand. And so he said that he'd rather help me. So I said, okay, well, that's great. I really appreciate that. I said, so let me get you registered to get paid. I said, because for every referral, you can get between $500 and $1,000. So I sent him my link right there. And I walked him through signing up right there as an affiliate. And then when it came to, putting in the password, he started to slow down a little bit. He said, oh, do I have to set this up right? I said, yeah. I said, because I can't do it for you. It has to be, you have to do it yourself. And so he didn't finish it at that moment. He did not finish it at that moment. And we parted company. So about 2 hours later, I sent him a text. I said, it was wonderful speaking with you, and I look forward to us working together. Remember to complete your registration. And he responded. He said, likewise, it was a pleasure speaking to you. And about an hour later, I see him in my back office as an affiliate. So that's exciting. But what I really wanted to point out is that it's putting people in the pipeline, because sometimes it doesn't always happen the first contact. I think GCU has taught us, right, Angel, that sometimes it's between, what is it, 5
Eight.
to 12, 8 to 12,
Yeah.
8 to 12,
About eight.
8 to
But if
12
you keep
touches.
on learning GCU to the point where you know how to do objections, you know how to answer, and you know how to do everything. I mean, I remember I remember my very first time when I finished was it during the iBoomerang stages? Yeah, I finished the presentation, and then I did my trial close, which uh I did my trial close, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being that you're ready to get started now, right? And she said a 10, but I get a lot of 10. You get a lot of 10s, right? You get 10s, but then they're like, yeah, let's do it another day. But she's like, yeah, I'm a 10. And I was like, okay, great. So when would you like to get started? And she's like, right now. So I was like, all right, let's go. Right.
You have
And
to be
so
ready
when
for
you start,
that too.
yeah. So when you start getting to be to the point where you're going to get better and better and better, just like you see Mr. Bean's presentation is like, dude, every
Mm,
single time I'm like, sign me up again, right? And it just keeps on getting better. And when you keep on, harnessing your craft until like the other person is, it's just gonna be like, man, it just sounds too good to pass up now, right? And so, just keep on creating those scripts and just keep on working it and changing it to where, to where it's going to, not only that, but learning. That's why the rally calls are really good, because they start giving you all of the objections and all of that. So when people throw you objections, are you serious, or are you just pulling my leg, right? And a lot of times that's what it is. People are just trying to get you off the phone, or just trying to go about somewhere else, and they're not real objections. So, but once you do
complaints.
have, yeah, the only real objection is, I don't have the money. Now you can even ask them when they say, I don't have the money. Now, do you mean like you don't have the money, meaning that you actually don't have $200 right now to get started? Or do you not see the value in putting $200 towards this business? There's a difference,
Mm,
right?
right.
When you say, I don't have the money, because you may have 200 sitting there, but you don't want to put it towards the business. You want to put it towards a concert, or
Hmm.
a steak dinner instead.
Right.
So even when people don't say they don't have the money, I want to clarify, you don't have the money because you literally don't have it in the bank, or you just don't see the value in it, because that's my fault. I have to show you I didn't show you the value that you would rather have a steak dinner with this $200 than to start this business in a box that's gonna make you six figures part-time. That's
Wow.
my so let me let me take care of that, since it's my fault. I didn't show you enough value, right? And and that's part of that GCU. We learned so much
Mm,
on those calls, right?
yeah.
And that's why we keep, but we were on it religiously, right? Ms. Laura Johnson, every
Oh,
day, every
absolutely.
morning, live, not
Live.
replays, live every morning. You guys are getting the replays now, but at that time, we showed up every single day, and we hear it, because when you show up, you're gonna hear the same thing every day, same thing every day. You think it's the same thing, but what it's doing is that it's incorporating itself in your mind. Because
Hmm.
what happens when it's repetitious, it's gonna start doing things, right? It's going to start moving things in your mind. So you want to listen to stuff repetitiously. When
And it
I'm taking
organizes
notes,
it. It
yeah, when I'm taking
organizes it
notes,
for you.
or when I'm reading a chapter, or studying, I do, like, if it's chapter one, I do chapter one, and then I rewind and do chapter one again. Rewind to do chapter one again. Rewind, do chapter one again. I do it 3 to 4 times. Repetition, because what happens is it goes into your, right, it goes into your uh subconscious after a while. If you just keep on listening to the same thing, next thing you know, you're just going to start saying these things without even realizing it, because it's already etched in your mind, right? So you want to hear the same thing over and over, right? even if it's like overviews. I listen to whenever I start something, I always listen to overviews like all the time. If you guys were in I was sharing about Organo. Organo used to have an overview from Monday to Saturday, and I used to be at every single one of them for like 2 to 3 months. Every day, same overview every single day for like I didn't miss a beat. And that's how I actually saw and met Mr. Bean and Mrs. Bean at one of the because they were speaking at one of the overviews, right? And so I was just taking notes from every single person was that was presenting, and I made my own script based on everybody else. I was like, "Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good joke. Ooh, that's a good story." Right? And so I incorporated all into mine until I was able to create my own stories with my own team, and then I was able to personalize it. But at first, I just borrowed everybody's and put it all together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, thanks for sharing, Miss Laura. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the next step is he's saying that oh, that he signed up already. So yeah, if they want to be referral partners, do do the referrals. The one thing that I would add for the number one that I see missing is the value you're bringing to him. How can I help you? Oh, great. Thanks for helping me. How can I help you? Who can I connect you to for what you're doing?
I think that's great because I want to be able to keep touching, having touch points with him, and just move him along and
Yeah.
get that referral, but continue to build that relationship because the relationship I think is going to be, just priceless.
Yeah, absolutely. So how you do that is just ask them like, hey, while you're helping me connect people to me, let me help connect people to you. And a lot of times if you do it first, then they want to reciprocate, right? So remember I was telling you about if you were on the call today, like how my realtor friends were like shutting out the other solar guy and stuff like that. But that's because, when I met them, I asked them, what do you need? And one of them said, I need to, I'm new in real estate and I need to connect with more realtors and especially on the commercial side. And I said, okay, I got you. Ring Julie. Hey, Julie, I got this person. They're looking for a collaboration with a commercial realtor. Would it be okay if I gave her your number? Cool. Great. Hey, hey Jada, this is Julie. You remember you're looking for a realtor. She's a commercial realtor. She's one of my closest friends. So I know I know that she's going to give you some really great advice. Connect, right? I don't wait for them to give me a referral first. I connect first. Right? And same thing with all the other people. I always, whatever it is that I can do, I will connect right away. And it doesn't have to be you purchasing their product, but maybe they need a referral. Everybody needs a referral partner. That's why I say, who can I connect you with? Because I know a lot of people. You want commercial, you want roof. Who do you want? You want brokers? Who do you want? I got them. And when you do that, that's when they want to what? Do the same. What do you need? And then they automatically, not that you were doing it because that, but you always what? Do it first, just like leadership. Give value first. You want referrals, give value first. Right? I had a gentleman that had a really bad solar. I went to a networking and he goes, Angel, maybe you can help me. I was like, what can I do for you? He said, I had a really bad solar job, blah, 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 and da, 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 da. And I said, well, let me take a look and see if there's anything I can do. Go ahead and send me that. I'm not going to make any guarantees because there's a lot of people that got, you know, didn't do their research. And unfortunately, in this field, because people make so much money, that they didn't do their due diligence with the customers. like they should, but I will see what if I can do anything, but no promises. So I contacted, at that time I contacted Hans and say, hey, this will happen. Can we do anything? And blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, we can't do anything. It has to be the company. And so I told him, go ahead and reach out to the salesperson. He reached out to the salesperson, and the salesperson was like, I just sell these things. That's it. And he was like, you're gonna have to contact the company. I just sell them. And I'm like, wow, And so, so I said, well, contact the loan. If you're not, you shouldn't be paying the loan if the if your product is not what it's supposed to be. So contact the loan, see if they can do something. So I was helping him with whatever part that I could. And so, that was the first and only time I met him at an event. After that, we didn't talk for like 6, 7 months. And he messages me out of the blue and say, hey, Angel, I just spoke to one of my clients the other day, and they were thinking of solar. And so I told them I'm gonna connect them to you. Right? And remember, he had a horrific solar experience. Horrific. And he was like, I love solar. I see where it's going, but because of my situation, I don't think I could ever do solar or sell solar or talk to people about solar. And I said, I don't blame you. Agreement, Joe, right? Of course. I get it. And that's why I left him at that. But because I went out of my way to see what I can do, even though I knew I couldn't do anything, but I tried anyways, and he saw it, he knew that his clients would be in better hands with me than some person knocking on their door, right? And so he thought of me when somebody thinks about solar. And that's what you want. When somebody thinks about solar, they think of you, not anybody else. Yep. So keep on feeding that relationship, Laura. Miss Laura. I know you will. All right. Anybody else have any questions or any role play? Y'all want to role play any of those, scripts that I shared at all? Or maybe role play something that you've already done or you already had and see if there's a different result.
I have one.
Sure.
Just brought on a new builder last week. And so it was based off what I was posting on Facebook. So people are looking at what you're doing on Facebook. And so they walked up to me and they were like, hey, I saw you were talking about some opportunities. Can you tell me more? I said, you know what? I sure can. Let me just send you this 3-minute little audio. And then once you're finished, call me up and let me know what you got from it. And so I said, I need to know if you're really interested. So let me know. And so immediately she watched it. She was like, I want to know more. Right. And then it went from did that. And then I sent the 45-minute video because it was in the middle of the night. And so she watched that and she was like, okay, we need to talk. And after that, I signed her up. So she's on.
Awesome.
She's ready.
Congratulations.
So that drip is important, but I took what you said, Angel. I think you did one of the trainings. I think not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before when Mr. Bean had you to come on and do that last 30 minutes or what it was, and how you said you send the sizzle to see if they're interested, to get their interest so you're not wasting your time nor their time. If they're interested, then you send the 45-minute video. And if they can go through that whole 45-minute video and come through and say, okay, let's talk more, then you basically have them.
Yes. Yes. So when you're walking them through the process, you pretty much know that you have them. If they watch the sizzle, right? The 3-minute sizzle, Now you caught their interest and they want to know more. Now they will sit through a 45-minute video or overview. And once they sit over that 45-minute video and they're still excited, that's it. They're going to sign on. Anything else is uh anything else is what are you saying extra that's blowing them off. Right? Because sometimes we can start introducing, right, objections sometimes, right, in the way that we word things or say things. So if they're watching that 45 and they're super excited and ready to get started, sign them up, right? Don't there was some people even after watching the 3-minute video, right? And they're excited and they're like, sign them up. And don't do the let me share the 45 minutes with you before you sign up. No, if they're ready and they see it and they like it and they're ready to sign up, sign them up, right?
Yeah.
Sign them up because you're going with what they want, right? And some people they make fast decisions. So, and if a person says, no, let's give you the 45 minutes. To be honest, if you're ready and you're ready to get started and somebody says, no, I need you to listen, I need you to do this, then I start thinking like, is this a person that I can work with, right? Because they're not listening to me. I'm ready to sign up now, but you're telling me I gotta watch a 45-minute video before I get started and it's killing my excitement. Right? So you got to be very careful. Remember, it's on their terms, not your terms. Right? So if they're ready and they say, sign me up, sign them up, and then give them the 4. Now that you sign up, great. I need you to watch this 45-minute video now. Right? So listen to them, do what they want, and then walk them through the system. Right? But they have to be walked through the system, that's for sure. But that it could be before or after they sign up. It's fine. Right? But just let them not walk them through the system. They have to be walked through the system. Right? Because if you don't, that's how they fall off. So perfect. Awesome. Any other? It's on their terms, yeah. It's just like for you, right? You're on your terms, you pray, prayers to God, but it's not on your terms, it's on his terms, right? I didn't think solar was for me. I never even thought about solar, right? So me asking God for a legacy for residual income was not in the form of solar in my mind, nor when Mr. Bean came up to me about solar and I was like, solar? Okay, right? Let's see where this goes, right? Because I've learned a long time ago that it's not on my terms, it's on God's terms. So I always have an open ear for everything. Because what you don't know is what you don't know. Right? And I didn't know people were already making millions like Johnny Montes over there selling solar this whole entire time. Right? They live in they're getting these huge paychecks, that while I'm sitting over there, in what corporate America, right? Back then, right? Or trying to sell $100,000 worth of coffee, right? A year. And we did it amazingly, you know that? Yeah, I sold over 6 figures in coffee a year. Organo was the pinnacle that took me from corporate America to living in high rises, mid rises from coffee sales. So if you think coffee sales is that, what about solar cells? What about alkaline water cells? I mean, we're talking about 100 times the profit of what a box of coffee was making for us here, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot sit on these cells. We cannot sit on these residuals. We've got to go out there and put in the work because the work is gonna pay off exponentially here. That's why I'm excited. Can't wait for Ripple too. Right?
Yeah, you need that right. Countdown time.
Countdown, countdown. Hey, one more week till January. We're gonna blow the socks off of everyone. I don't even know if we're gonna even have, if we're gonna keep, if they're even gonna have enough Ripple stock for us. We're gonna blow it out of the water. They're gonna be on back order for you for months at that rate.
I have family in family in the Philippines. My uncle, who's retired from real estate brokerage, he said once it comes out, let him know. And we got family down there. He said send them because security is important out there. So we already got it planned out. He's on an affiliate on me. My uncle doesn't really need the money, but he said, yeah, when you do it, let's do it. So I'm ready
All
for that.
right. Yeah, we're gonna go international soon. That's what I'm excited about. Our international friends.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay. Well, I'm gonna, no, it's the top of the hour, so I want you to have all the time to spend with your family and the holidays, and Merry Christmas to all of you. I appreciate you coming on here, and I hope that you get a nugget or two each and every time that you're able to hop on this call, right? Because we're gonna do it, guys. Let's get to Builder 8000 by convention.
That's it. Merry Christmas,
Yes, ma'am.
everyone.
Merry
All
Christmas.
right.
Yeah, Merry
Bye,
Christmas. Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
You're
Bye.
Angel.
Yes. All right.
Merry
Yes.
Christmas.
Good night, Angel. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas, everybody.